Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Guild Wars 2 video with me, Sherman. And I have to say, I am glad to be home in this game. So a little bit about myself. My name is Sherman. I am a content creator here on YouTube. I have been doing YouTube for over 15 years. And I started with a game called Minecraft, and then I moved to Guild Wars 2, where I started doing content and everything. But at the time, there was a singular meta, and I didn't really enjoy the game, trying to do stuff with the game, because a lot of people saw what I was doing, and a lot of people gave me a lot of negative vibes about it. And but I kept doing it until I found another game called Elder Scrolls Online, and I moved to that. And this was right before the release of Path of Fire. And I moved over to Elder Scrolls and was there all the way up until a year ago, about. I left Elder Scrolls not because it was a bad game, but because of lack of content. Now, everybody will say, well, if it had a lack of content, why did you play for so long? Because I had, like, 14 characters, and I played them through a lot of different content and stuff, and I just kind of got burned out on the Elder Scrolls gameplay. Not that the game was horrid or bad, it's a great game. It's just, it's a very taxing game on you, and then that's all where I'll leave it. So I've moved away from there. I started doing a lot of other things. I did some GTA RP, I did Sea of Thieves, I started playing Dungeons of Sundaria, and then somebody suggested, why don't you just go back to Guild Wars? Like, Guild Wars 2 had everything that you ever wanted in a game pretty much, and they were right. It had the gameplay I've been wanting, but it's not perfect. I'm not going to say the game's the best game ever. It's a good game. It's a damn good game. In fact, it's probably, in my opinion, the best MMO on the market because of how it plays. One, it's got more repeatable content than any MMO out there. Two, it's got great classes with great specializations. These are things that you do that make your character unique. So you might run across 5 or 6 other people playing the same class as you, but they're running different setups and specs that make their playstyle unique to them and make your playstyle unique to you. It's really hard to run across other people running exactly what you are unless you're playing the meta. And then you're going to run across a lot of people running the same kind of setup, which isn't bad. I don't mind that the game has a meta because they've actually expanded the meta to a greater degree, allowing for more playability. I'll put it that way. Now, the reason I've come back to Guild Wars 2 is because of everything I've just said, but there's even more to it than that. This game is like a part of my life. I spent roughly about 5 years playing Guild Wars 1. I played through the base game, I played factions, I played Nightfall, I played Eye of the North. I continued to play even after the game wasn't getting updates, off and on. But during that time I was also playing other MMOs because I could come back to Guild Wars whenever I wanted. There was no subscription fee. And then when Guild Wars 2 was announced in the PC Gamer magazine, I bought the magazine, and I was so ecstatic about the release of this game that I bought every book. I wanted to buy collectibles and things like that so I could have them, so I could show people that, hey, I'm a fan of this. I even had a Ritlock Brimstone case cover, like a metal frame, like a metal case cover from GameStop that I got when I bought my game. The guy gave me it. He's like, I know you're a fan, and I knew you would love this. And so I had that. I have a Ritlock Popple, you know. And yes, I'm a fan of Ritlock. If you haven't noticed, you know, right here. But this character is not Ritlock. This is my own character. He just resembles Ritlock in a way. But the thing that brought me to this game...
Everything has unfolded.
Glint, please.
Sadly, the world remains a dangerous place.
Okay, can you guys stop your conversation so I can talk? Thank you. So, I just really enjoy this game because of the fact that it's not like other MMOs. Like when you pick up another MMO, that you're stuck into certain roles. You're a tank, a healer, a damage dealer, and trying to find groups to do things is super hard. In this game, it's not like that. Like I've never done a dungeon where somebody said need tank and healer. I've ran fractals where people say need a support and need a such and such or this or that, but I've never like ran into those groups that say need a tank and healer. Even now, when I've come back to the game and I go look at the what they call the group finder right here, and I look at the different things and I look at raids, and if you look at raids for training, really, no training raids going on. What about experience? And you look in here and you see these different things. Like yes, they're asking for specifics, but it's really simple to get into and do. The same thing with strike missions. You want to do a strike mission, you go in here and you say training, and sometimes you'll find people in here where you set up your own. Same thing with the dungeons, which a lot of people say, oh, dungeons are dead, dungeons are dead. I actually found several groups yesterday looking for, wow, right there, look. Dungeon group. And it's mostly the ones that give you what's called berserker armor that a lot of people are running, which is fine. You don't have to have like, specifics. You just, as long as you're running and you're having fun, that's what matters. No, I don't want to join. And then like they have the story missions, or they have the Heart of Thorns stuff, or they have the they have different looking for group things, and I think this is really cool because it does allow for people to do different things. Like I can do an Adventures Guild thing where I help new players learn the game. There's so many different things, but the game goes a step further. One, they keep adding new content, not only to the base, like to the by adding new expansions and living world, but they actually add content from those things to the existing worlds, to the existing areas of the base game, and to the expansion areas and stuff like that. And I think that to me really drives the point of this game. This game is about letting players experience everything they can and earn everything they can from other areas of the game, so that way they can see what those other areas have to offer, and it kind of entices them to go buy that expansion or go get the living world so they can play in those things and see what that content's all about. Because this game has a massive amount of content. Just to prove this, you can go into your story journal. Now I'm on Path of Fire, but I'm going to close that down. So you have your story, which is your main story, and you can see I've completed all this, I think. No, I'm still working on the Battle of Claw Island. But I didn't have to finish it. I can move on. Living World Season 1. I've actually completed all these in the past, like all the Living World stuff, up to, let's see, I think it's Season 3 I have done on my main character. Oh no, this character has done all this. And so I've done a lot of this stuff up to Path of Fire, but I haven't done like Living World Season 3, I haven't done the Icebird Saga, which I can't wait to. I have to buy one extra one, which I'm not worried about. It's only like 200 gems or $2. And then I've completed Scarlet's War many a time like that, but they're re-adding it here in the Living World Season 1, which, by the way, if you're new to the game and you've never played the Living World content of Season 1, go play it. It is some of the best content they've added to the game. I wouldn't say ever, but it is some great content. But there's even more, like I was mentioning about the classes and their specializations. So your class gains their base skills, their skills and specializations. You can see I have Corruption, Retribution, Salvation, Innovation, Devastation, and then there's the Herald and the Renegade. These are other specializations that you earn from playing the newest expansions. Now, I don't have End of Dragons. I plan on getting it, but it'll add a two-handed great sword wielding revenant to the game, or adds that to the game. And I want to play this. I want to play this pathline or elite specialization because I think that it would fit my playstyle more than the Herald. I love the Herald. I think it's by far one of the best ones. I haven't really messed with the Renegade much, but the people I've ran into that are playing it all have said it's really good, but it's not as powerful as they wish it could be. But hey, everyone's got a difference of opinion. So the other thing I love about Guild Wars 2 is the amount of customization your character has. Like, you can customize every piece of armor, weapon, and jewelry to fit your character build. But you can also change the appearance to all your armor and weapons to give you a unique look. Now, I stuck with the standard Revenant look because I just like it that much. I think it fits the concept of the Revenant and how it works, and where the class came from, which a lot of people were like, oh, it's a ritualist. And I feel like it's like not a ritualist, but it's more of a cross between a summoner kind of thing, which I know sounds weird because it doesn't summon anything, but it summons the spirit of a lost soul, if you will, and channels it through you. And I think that is something that's unique to this game, and it makes this class so unique. And I'm going to be doing a playthrough here soon from 1 to 80 with a new character where I'm going to play through all the base content kind of stuff, the story and things like that. And then I'm going to move into the Maguma Jungle and then Path of Fire and then into Dragons with. But I haven't decided on what class I want to play because there's 3 classes I'm really interested in playing through that I've already got characters of, but I don't want to start with them. I want to start fresh. So it's the Revenant, of course, is one, a Mesmer, or a Ranger. Now, I already have a Mesmer, and I already have a Ranger. But I also have 2 Warriors, 2 Guardians, and I have 1 of everything else. So having 2 Rangers or 2 Mesmers or 2 Revenants wouldn't bother me none. I'd actually enjoy it because that's the cool thing about the game is you can have unique playstyles for every one of your characters, even if you just played Elementalist or just if you played, Guardians. So you could have all these different playstyles for each one that would be unique to them. And then you could have gear that reflects that. You could have, your stats reflect that playstyle. Or you could do like me and you could use what's called Celestial gear. That just pretty much makes you a jack of all trades, master of none, but makes you have this really unique gameplay. And it's just, again, it's one of those things that I've really enjoyed about the game since I started playing. And if people are wondering if I made my Revenant and then leveled it into 80 right away, no, I still have my 2 level 80 boosts. I've never used them. I've leveled all my characters from 1 to 80 manually. I've leveled them through content manually. I don't find this to be the thing that makes you good at the game. This just helps you get to 80 so you can do the harder content, the like Maguma Jungle, or you can do in pretty much any content at any time. But there's a little bit more to that. I just enjoy the journey and the learning of a new class, and then learning that class and playstyle that I'm looking to make that character into and perfecting it and mastering it. This is kind of like how I started this character out. I started out using the legendary demon stance and then the legendary centaur stance, which is Ventari, and I don't remember the demon Malix, the unyielding. I did this, and I was running a mace, an axe, and a staff. And I did that for a long time, and I actually ran their specialization, like built the character to work around that, so where they did corruption damage with healing. And I focused on that, and the playability was amazing, and I had a lot of fun with it. I used the martial equipment. I know a lot of people say, Martial, why? Well, that's because I gave out boons, like really good, and I did healing, and I did damage, and did damage over time, and martial worked for that. But then I started moving to Celestial when I realized I'm going to be playing this particular character, using pretty much anything I want. So I'm going to have this, sword and shield set up for the herald. I'm going to have, the hammer for when I switch to the dwarf. I have a staff for when I switch to Ventari. I'm going to use an axe, a sword and axe when I switch to the assassin stance. When I switch to this, I want to get a mace and axe like I had originally. And then I'm going to have a short bow that I'm going to use for the warband one, for the renegade. And then I'll have another one when I get the two-handed sword. But once I get the two-handed sword, I think that's where this character is just going to stay that way. Using two-handed sword primarily, and then on the back bar I'll use something else or whatever. In my alternate weapon, I'll use something else. But so far, like I said, coming back to this game, I've just been so enamored by the amount of like the community and how they talk to you and treat you with respect. They don't diss on you because you're playing a build that's not good. They will help you up if they see you go down. I don't know, it's just weird because like I played Elder Scrolls for so long that I'd be in dungeons or raids and somebody would go down and nobody would help them up. They would just let them die. And then they'd have they'd wait until the healer could bring them up. And it was like, wow, this is stupid. Like, you guys, like, I would stop tanking to bring people up in that game just because the more people doing damage, the quicker the fight gets done. And then, if the person's not good at the game, like, I would tell them, hey, you know what? If you want, I can show you or guide you in a way that'll help you understand the game more and maybe help you find a build that works for you. And that's kind of what I, do. I just help people understand the game and show them ways they can play. Now, I'll admit, I got a lot of flack for what I did in Elder Scrolls because I didn't do the meta. I probably won't do it here, to be honest. I'll probably talk about how you can play the game and create the kind of character you want to play using the tools you want to use. Because to me, giving players the power to pick how they want to play and then guiding them to play that way is the best way to do it. Now, is it going to be, they're going to be raid qualified or, trial, strike qualified or dungeon qualified or even fractal qualified? Maybe not for the meta, but for other groups, they could be. You never know unless you play with them and you understand how their play style works. And then you can help them, guide them into a play style that fits the need of your group and also their play style. And that's what, a lot of people should be doing, is guiding people in that direction. And that's what I hope to bring to the table now that I'm here back home in Guild Wars 2. And that's pretty much it. That's what I plan on doing. I plan on, doing guide videos on showing people, like, how to use gear, how to use the stats on gear, and then, like, show them how to understand, like, what weapon skills do what, and how you can use it with that gear set. And then, hopefully people will start to catch on. Like, there's more to this game than meets the eye. And that's what's so unique. And if you guys wonder if I do PvP in this game, yes, I do arena battlegrounds, and I do also the world versus world, both types of world versus world, because I enjoyed doing that when I was here before. And that's another thing I'll get into when the time comes. I'll start talking about world versus world, and like, probably won't go too much into metas over there because I like to do what's called meta disruption, and that means playing something people aren't used to and disrupting their play style because of it. Because it really throws them off in their game, and it makes it to where they have to configure their character to fight against something that they've never fought against before, or maybe have fought against but haven't fought against it in so long that it's unique against them, in particular. So there's a lot of things that could happen there. And before I finish, I want to say one last thing. If you're wondering how much experience I have in the game, I want to show you this. This is something you can do. You can type in /age, and it shows you the age of your account. This character has 330 hours and 15 minutes in total of gameplay. That's how many hours I've played this character. I have in total across all my characters on my account 2,917 hours and 18 minutes of gameplay. And that's of me typing that. If I typed it again, it would change to the minute, not to the hour. But my point here is I do have a lot of experience. I do know this game roughly inside and out. I've never done the raiding in the past because I wasn't a raider. I've never really been into the raiding, but I would like to get into strike missions because they sound more my play style, and hopefully I'll be able to get into them here soon. Now I say here soon is because I'm reconstructing all my characters, like rebuilding all of them, because they're not playing the way I'd like them to with the way they're set up. So I'm looking for new ways to set them up to make their skills reflect against their attributes and things like that, so that this way when I play them they actually have some effectiveness. And really that's all I've been doing for the last like 5 days since I've come back to the game. But I have enjoyed my journey into the world, and again I want to thank the community, all the people who've like taught me different new things and things like that. You guys are amazing. A few shout outs here to a few other content creators. Mighty Teapot, you are hands down the new wooden potatoes. Even though you don't follow the lore and stuff, but we do have Lariel, I think. If I'm murdering your name, I don't mean to, but you are awesome with your lore and knowledge of this, the story of Guild Wars 2. And also any other content creator out there making content for this game, whether your content is good or bad. It's a matter of opinion, and it's a matter of choice. I watch a lot of content creators, and I can tell you there's a lot of content creators out there not getting enough recognition because of how much work they put into this game. But yeah, amazing content so far that I've seen, and I can't wait to get into this game and share it with you guys. But that's pretty much it. And with that comes the closing of the video. Some of you never heard this before, so let me jump right into it. I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a wonderful day, and this guy might see you in game. Bye.